Okay, so now that you've got your shoulder joints modified with some extra articulation, and you've got the wrist articulation, I only do the up and down, not side to side, because I wanted to design this so it was extra strong for what I needed it for. But now we're going to move down to this elbow, and as you can see, this elbow is very loose. You can just keep tightening this up, but it's the forearm is actually thinner than what it's meant to be in there. So as you're tightening these screws and this nut and bolt down, it just opens up this gap at the front here and at the back. And if you try and glue it, this just looks squashed in. So what we're going to do is what I've done to this one is we're just going to add some washers to it, and that gives us a much better feel to it and holds its position now. So pop the arm off, but you can see much better articulation in the shoulder, the elbow now. So I'm just going to do that real quickly. We're also going to do the lean back cut on this, so the body doesn't lean back at the moment, so we're going to try and get that to lean all the way back down. So first thing is the elbows, and this is what I prefer to use. So a packet will do dozens of these, but we only need 2. Push that shit out. Grab the one that needs, that one. Just take the arm off. Screw it. Get that nut and bolt off. All we're going to do is just get some super glue, put it around this bit here. Drop that on, just line that up, press it down, flip it over to the other side, and we'll just let this dry for about 10 minutes sort of thing before we put it back on. But that's basically it. That's all you have to do to improve the elbow articulation. It just makes it a bit smoother, gives you a better finish on the paint job. That's basically it. Once this is dry, don't put it in yet because the glue is wet, you're going to glue the arm shut. So give it a good 10 minutes, just whack it in there, put your nut and bolt on, and that little modification is done. That gives you much better improvement for the entire arm now. So now we'll move on to the lower caddy, where we're going to cut out the back. On these original Robot V kits, this plastic comes all the way up to the back of the torso here, which you can see. So there's no gap there, and it won't go back, so we'll just stop there. On the new kits, what they did is they actually cut out this back section, so they removed this whole back section just right here, which was alright. It's alright. It could allow you to move the body probably back about, maybe, no exaggeration, probably, I won't even do it, but about there sort of thing, which wasn't bad, but you still wanted to go back even further. You don't have to cut this, if you wanted to do that, most people would cut this right out. It would kind of look ugly. It only look good if the body was sitting back because it covers the hole, but if it was in an upright position, you see this great big hole there, which wasn't very nice. And if you're planning to put electronics and stuff in it, you actually see all the wires and exposed wires. So this is the way I do it. You don't have to cut anything out. You don't have to remove any material. It's just 2 simple little cuts. I'm going to bring my board in. And what we're going to do is we're just going to cut straight down here all the way through. One line there and one line there, and we're just going to cut these just a little bit. These little raised tabs here, we're just going to cut them just a little bit. So 1 cut, 2 cut, 3 and 4, just little ones on those last 2. So we'll get the knife out and we'll just cut that through. You can use a Dremel, but it leaves a bigger cut. I just prefer to cut it with a knife or a razor blade, so I get a nice fine cut. Takes a couple of goes to get through it. There we go. Make sure you get all the way to the end there, and I'll go your knife will just finish that off. So you just want to cut, kind of see it on the back here, just to cut all the way up to this point. I'm just using a blade just to get that last little bit on the side. Cut these 2 little tabs just a bit, because it just allows the back, this part, basically this part is now going to bend down with the body. So as you're tilting it back, this part will just bend down. So you don't have to remove anything to get him to bend down. Just a matter of a couple of little cuts, and you still see the back of it, so it's still covering up all your wires and stuff. Okay, so let's just try that. So what we're going to do is we're going to assemble the body. I'm going to like a couple of screws in it. You really want to put 4 screws in these sections, and screws. Quickly screw this up. This next part, you will need a heat gun or a hair dryer. So just make sure you got all 4 screws in here, because when we bend this back, we don't want the body to twist, the chassis caddy to twist or anything like that. So one more screw. Okay, so now still looks the same. Now we can actually bend that down. If I cut it all the way through. Oh, I know what it is. Because we have the old kits. Because these had the battery compartments in it. Okay. See, it's been a while since I've done these. So I missed a step. What you've got to do is cut out the back. Just an internal part, but basically it's this part here. This part here, you just got to cut down there, cut there, cut there. Remove all of this. You can be as rough as you want with this, which I'm going to be. Looking for my snips. Let's grab my snips. Basically, this is just preventing the back from going down. See how it's hitting the back? So we can just remove this. Just make a couple of cuts. Basically what we go is like that. And that's all we do. Okay. Just remove that bit at the back there. Now we should be able to do it. My fault. Totally forgot about that last little step. So we'll quickly put these 4 screws back. And after this step, you're definitely going to have to do something with the waist, because the waist is going to be absolutely useless after doing this. So there is ours now, and we're leaning back. Actually, I'll put 2 more screws in the back there. I'll just completely screw this off, because it looks like it's going to move on me. So there's 1 more screw. Just get screw on the back here. Okay, so now it should be fine. Nothing's changed here, and he goes all the way back. Okay, and he will spring back, but he goes all the way back. Now, to stop that from springing back, all you do is just get your heat gun. I'm just going to heat that up a little bit. Should do it. And remove that back. Now, that's why it's important to have all of your screws in, so as this is, there's no tension on this opening it up or anything, so just wait for that to cool down, and that's it. So now that is slightly bent down enough that he'll always hold that position. And that is how you do the lean back without cutting anything out of the back. Okay, so that's the lean back, and we'll just whack a waist on, and I'm sorry, a top, and we'll just give you a little look-see as to what the next stage is. So I'll just take the arms off. You can see why the waist needs to be done. So basically he'd be standing up like that. He'd be standing up like that. Now when you do the lean back, he's totally looking up in the air. There's nothing you can do about moving this forward, so we'll tackle this next. But that is the lean back modification on the Robot V, and that is all the arms, all the parts on the arms. Unless you want to put a rotation there, but there's nothing really strong enough that's going to do that and not break. Okay.